Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show.
On the beach in the sand, I think of you. I think of you. Did you realize I love you all my life? And when you're gone, I'm all alone.
I am the author in Curt Williams Jr. and the Spiritualist, and welcome to another episode of the Curt Williams Soul and the Body Show. Today, I would like to discuss a very serious topic. Now, as you know, I am a spiritualist. Now, what that means is that I have a different understanding of life, spirituality, and the existence of the Creator. From a spiritualist standpoint, we have very little faith in things like text, literature pertaining to the existence of the Creator, because what a spiritualist actually is, and there's very few people like this. In fact, I've never met anyone. I've heard about some, but a spiritualist is someone whose spirit talks to them. And I'm not talking about schizophrenia. I'm talking about literally speaks to them in certain ways that we can communicate, and we know exactly what it's not. You can call it a clairvoyant, you can call it a clairaudient, meaning you see things or you hear things, but the way your spirit communicates with you is in many different, it communicates with you in the way in which it knows you can relate to at that particular time. It could show up as anything. It could show up as a fireman. It could show up as a ranger. It could show up as an angel. It could show up as your mama. It could show up as anything it wants to in order to communicate with you. The important thing is making the difference in discernment between that and your imagination. Years ago, that was the most difficult thing I had to deal with, my imagination. Sometimes I would imagine things, and you also have to be careful of spirits that are not supposed to be. I don't believe in psychics who read people or anything, because I think if they really had the ability to read people, they would realize that they would be reading the minds of people, and they would realize that sometimes those spiritual aspects of that person can come into them. And I don't think that any human being would actually allow that to happen once they found out the dark side of that. There's a dark side, because some of these spirits will come to you and they won't leave. It's never happened to me, but it never will. I have placed safeguards to keep that from happening to me by simply saying, hey, Spirit, Curt, it's me and you only. Don't let nothing else come in here. And my relationship with my spirit is such that I trust it, and I hope it trusts me. What life is, and this is the hardest thing that I've found people to understand. You are not who you are. You are, in fact, representing the spiritual aspect of who you are. The spiritual aspect of who you are is connected to the Creator. The Creator has a piece of Him within you. It's within you in the form of a chemistry that lies in the region of the pineal gland. It's a chemical. Everything is a chemistry or mathematics. The Creator is chemistry and is mathematics. It is science. So it is a scientific aspect of who you are. They call the chemical dimethyltryptamine. That is the spirit molecule, and that is within your body, and it leaves when you die. So, a spiritualist is someone who is acutely related to that aspect of who they are, and we communicate in many ways. And another thing that makes a spiritualist is the fact that I have given my spirit the permission to tell me what it wants to do, and not my spirit trying to keep up with what my brain wants to do. 99% of the people in the world are doing what their brain wants them to do, what they have figured out, what they have learned, or what they have so-called figured out, what they have so-called learned. But there are certain powers that want you to learn certain things in certain ways. There are certain powers that want you to behave. Everybody wants you to behave in certain ways that benefits them. What I'm saying is that when you follow your spirit, then it's what you love, it's what you trust, and it's really kind of unfortunate the way your spirit doesn't get credit for a lot of things that it is capable of doing. It usually comes in the form of somebody believing that God Himself is the person that is acutely related to all of these things that are happening to you. What we don't do is we don't give our spirit enough credit. We don't give it enough credit for all the many blessings that it does for us. We like to give credit to things like angels that we have imagined, prayer warriors that we have imagined. But if you want to get down to the real thing, then the real thing is actually your own spirit. Now, coming into this workplace, you have certain understandings. One of those understandings is that your spirit has no color and it has no emotion. Under the present circumstance, it's becoming very difficult for a person like me to hold on to those standards, simply because there are certain people that need more help than others. And what I'm talking about is, although my spirit is that of a man of color, a black man, that is only because of these circumstances. Spiritualists are also reincarnationists. We will live a life and then we'll come back and live another one. The life that we live now is whatever we want it to be. Like, for instance, in this iteration, I am a man of color, and another one I will be something else, something probably in direct contradiction to what I am now. And so the way this whole thing goes is that when you pass away, your spirit will evaluate your life. It's called the Akashic Records. It will evaluate your life, and at the end of that evaluation, it will put you on a new mission of reckoning, of reconciliation, or even perhaps just tightening up a few things. If you've lived a good life and been a good person, then chances are you will come back in a pleasant way. But you may have a lot of work to do. If you have a lot of work to do, then there's a wonderful place to get the work done. And don't think it's a negative thing to come back as something that needs a lot of work, because that's what we're here for. And it takes a while for people's spiritual aspect to grow to a level to where it's worthy of any type of growth. So that covers that. We know now what a spiritual is. Somebody's connected to their spirit. Now, you ask, connected to what? You are connected to the Creator in such a way that the Creator has a part of it within you. This part of it that is within you is what separates the Creator and free will. The Creator does not have free will. The Creator of the universe, some people call him God, does not have free will. What I mean by that, it is not a thing that would be concerned with free will, because it's a thing that knows everything. When you know everything, the first thing you realize is that there's nothing more for you to know. Under those circumstances, it is a very non-challenging existence. So, in order for this thing that knows everything to add to what it already knows, it slides an aspect of itself in the form of a chemical. It slides this chemical into the form of another human being. Now, this particular spiritual connection does have free will. The one up here doesn't have free will because it knows everything. But this one down here, it does have free will, and that will that it has, it enables it to go through trials and tribulations and learn things. Now, when it learns things, it gets very exciting because it's going to learn the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, when it learns the good, the bad, and the ugly through this free will, now you have your God up here that's like going, wow, I never could have passed that kind of information through me, but now I can. So now you have the spiritual aspect of you that is within people. Now that it's within people, it has the ability to expand and grow, because people are capable of doing all kinds of crazy things. So are we getting somewhere? Are we understanding what a spiritualist is? A spiritualist is someone who's allowed his spirit to guide his life, to lead his life. I follow it. It doesn't follow me. It tells me what I'm going to do from one moment up to the next, and I trust it. What I'm going to do in about a week, I'm going to transform my what I do from lecturing here, from my book thing and my other gigs, to being a singer. I'm going to sing about 20 Luther Vandross songs, just because someone thought that it would be a good idea to help cheer people up. One of the things that I am trying to do as a spiritualist is be there where I am needed. Now, one of the most, or probably the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life, amazing in a negative way, is what happened to my hometown of Altadena. And what happened to Altadena a couple of weeks ago, if you haven't heard, it caught on fire, and a majority of this particular beloved city of mine is burned down, and so we thought it would be a good idea to. Actually, we planned on doing the tribute a week before the fires had started. However, when I say that I am a spiritualist, we're talking about a mechanism that my spirit already knew there was going to be a fire. So it was like, hey, Luther's having a documentary special on the beginning of year, and I should sing some songs for that special. However, then the fire came up. So basically what I'm saying is that from a spiritual standpoint, your spirit is going to know how this is going to happen and when this is going to happen, how all these things are going to come together. And then so I knew that I would be doing a singing thing because my spirit basically told me to. So anyway, that's what we're preparing for. The reason we are preparing for that is simply because I don't know how to explain what I'm about to explain other than to say we as people are in the beginning phases of what might truly become the most misunderstood, devastating period of time that we could imagine. Spirits have no color. However, a spirit does have a person has an ethnicity. With this ethnicity comes the responsibility, because our spirit is the one that chose that ethnicity. Our spirit has chose this for us and for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons is that because it might be making up for challenges it had run into in the past and making up for some of that damage. Sometimes it's making up for things that your spirit has done in the past. Sometimes it's to learn. A lot of trials, a lot of tribulations, negative things will happen to you in your life, but they're only there so that you can grow, so that you can try. Now, the reason people are not growing like they should is simply because too many people love being exactly what they are. And they don't have any interest in being anything other than what they are. If you talk to humans about self-improvement, they're not going to be so reticent to listen or understand that, because they are comfortable exactly where they are. I'm so amazed at how people can be so comfortable. Somebody told me, Curt, keep pressure on the preachers, because I like to talk about ministers simply because I have enough nerve to do so. Some of them think that they are beyond any kind of scrutiny. However, as a spiritualist, I can tell you that a minister, unless that minister is a spiritualist, will never know as much as a spiritualist does. The reason I'm saying that is because as a spiritualist is connected and communicating with this spirit that's communicating with God, all that biblical stuff is in the way. All the stuff that you read in literature. When the Bible speaks to me, certain times it says, stop, whoa, you gotta be kidding. You know, you can't have things that are antithetical to creation a part of the Word of God. You have to be able to tell the difference and be able to discern information that is truly of the Creator. A lot of ministers do not have the nerve or the mindset to interpret spirituality. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is that when you are raised with a certain religion, Sometimes you get stuck onto that religion, and sometimes you get stuck into the scripture to the point where nothing else matters. Now, if you are the kind of person that is stuck on Bible scriptures, that means you will never be qualified to be a spiritualist, because you will never be able to discern the information. But not only that, you will never be able to break away from that which you believe to be true. And I only say believe because that's what religion does. You believe in God, and if you believe in something, that basically means you leave a lot of room for doubt. Spiritualists, we don't believe, we know. I saw a minister on television the other day, and he was doing a sermon at his church, and he said that he was saying that there were some people that call the Bible antiquated. Now, I believe the person thought that he was a very intelligent man. I'm sure he felt that, and I don't quite understand what he was trying to say when he was saying that the Bible was antiquated. To say that the Bible is antiquated is redundant. What else could it be other than antiquated? Means old. It means antique. Not only is the Bible antiquated, it's getting older by the minute. And it can only get older until it gets to a certain point where certain aspects of society get sick of it and decides to change it. And they do that every 1,000 years. When you go back farther, you realize that the Bible itself is a doctrine that is mostly written and programmed and edited by whoever is in the position of power at that particular time. Whoever is ruling, say if it's the Roman Empire, well, their Bible is going to have a Roman twist to it. The same thing happened with the King James. The King James Bible had to change because the Catholic Church changed into Protestant. So they couldn't have a non-Protestant religion within Christianity. So basically, King James put his own spin on it, and took it from being Catholicism into Protestant, which is the King James Bible. Now, I can go in today's with the King James, how it was constructed, who was there, and who decided. A lot of it was truly King James himself, who was a writer, and his best friend Shakespeare, who was a writer. So the Bible is a lot of Shakespeare and a lot of King James. No need to talk about King James and say what he was doing and what he was a king, and he was a typical king. And there's a lot to say about King James. However, what I'm saying is the book is truly antiquated, and if you want to believe it, you can. If you want to believe that Adam and Eve was born and they were in a Garden of Eden, somebody ate an apple. And for that reason, all of the sins of the world have come on down to those, to all people because of the apple eating incident. If you want to believe all that, then you're not ready for spirituality. If you want to believe that the curse of Ham, there's so many things in the Bible that are antithetical to a creator that it's almost like it's just okay. So anyway, we will be back, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And we have a lot to discuss. We have a long way to go, and there's going to be a lot of things happening in the world, and we're going to need to be able to address these things because all of them are going to take a level of spirituality to understand. Thank you for coming, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and like I said, we have a whole lot of work. Thank you.